Another custom boot rack of the week, and as you can see, it's a rough out kind of day. Update from the factory is we are still hard at work on our mock toe, but the biggest news is that later this month we'll be releasing our barefoot 8-inch boot alongside Rose Anvil's YouTube channel. We're going to be calling this the African Trooper, and what I'll do is touch on this boot a little bit later in this episode when we move on to our stock AR8 boot and just touch on some of the differences that we've made here. But I'm sure everyone's looking forward to seeing this boot out and about and what options we're going to have up for pre-sale. Starting from shortest to tallest, we have a Philly in a rough out green and a chocolate suede facing. Now there's still a lot more going on in this boot, and what I really love is how the red stitching, the chocolate suede and the rough out green all comes together. And with some time and wear, this up is really going to take shape and get a great patina with all the elements blending into each other. Now there's an unstructured toe, so there's no toe puff or anything in the front here. And this customer has gone for a leather midsole with resin runner and our Bradbury outsole. So at first, this boot is going to feel a little bit heavy underfoot, being unlined and an unstructured toe, but as the boot breaks in, it's going to become nice and subtle, especially with this natural rubber that we manufacture our Bradbury sole in. With time and wear, it becomes a great and one of our more durable soles. So going to love to see this boot in a couple of years' time. And another little added extra is the pull loop at the back here, just to help getting that boot on for those more challenging days. Next up, we have a boot not that familiar to most of you, and that is our Bushcat in our ladies ASHM Last. Now this customer has gone for the rough out green, like we've seen on the Philly here, and combined it with our rough out fudge around the collar. We have then see that there's no branding on this boot. So although from a distance the boots look kind of similar, they are extremely different. And once we dive into the insides, they get even more different. So this Bushcat is a double lasted boot, so it means that there are 2 layers of leather, the calfskin lining with the full grain rough out upper, leather midsole with resin runner, and then our JG lug outsole. Now very similar, well, same color to the Bradbury sole, and that's because it is the same rubber compound, but just in the more aggressive lug pattern. So very excited to see how this boot ages. With time and wear, I think it's all going to come together, especially with the natural rubber outsole blending into the upper of the boot, and I think this is going to be a great boot in a couple of years' time. Next up, we have one of the more unique boots that we've made here at the factory, and that is our Numzan boot in an Nguni skin and fawn suede upper. Now you may be thinking, how did we ever get to this? And that is because I'm part of a Discord channel where guys chat about gym green boots, and there are a bunch of gym green enthusiasts on there. And we were chit-chatting and somehow got onto the topic of Nguni, which is a breed of cattle indigenous to Southern Africa. Now, this is not an easy skin to work with. It's not something we're going to run as a stock item, as if you have a look at how it's made from last week's video, you'll see that just to put the toe cap on, we actually had to get hair clippers to trim the area so that the toe cap would stick nicely. Now everything else on the boot is stock standard as per our Numzan boot, frog grip sole, leather midsole, with the big change here coming, obviously the Nguni skin upper, but they opted for an STC last, so just adding a little bit more of a rounded and wider toe box. Very interested to see how these age. The guys that are wearing them are just using them for those special days out, and obviously the Nguni skin, one has to take good care of it. Onto the tallies, and we have an AR8 boot in our tobacco suede with red stitching. Now this is a good comparison to the boot we started with the Philly, so you can just see how by changing the upper leather, how the red stitching pops with the comparison. Now this customer has gone for the leather midsole with our tire and EVA outsole. Now you would have seen in previous videos, we have taken this tire pattern, put it into a mold, and we're making it into a wedge sole option that we're going to run in the same compound as our OR sole. So here you're going to be getting the benefits of the leather midsole, the comfort of the EVA, and then the complete ruggedness of the tire retread. So this is actual tire retread that we put onto the boots, and here you've got one really durable, good looking boot. and this tobacco suede upper is going to age great with time, and you're going to get tons of use out of the sole that's going to pretty much be able to crunch through anything that's thrown at it. Slightly different take on our AR8 boot, and just to show you how one can differentiate in the custom made options. So this customer has gone for the tobacco vamp, combined it with our Afri quarters. Now with time and wear, I've seen a few custom boots that have had some good wear in them, and this Afri gets a really good look to it and will blend in nicely with the tobacco suede upper. Now you can see here there's a composite toe cap, and this all combines with our JG Lug natural outsole with a leather and resin runner midsole. So you're going to be getting one really durable boot, obviously built for the work environment, and the pull-on loop, once again, just to add with assistance getting the boot on. So yeah, a great selection of boots here. Now let's chat on our barefoot African Trooper that I'll be releasing in the next week or two. So what has changed between the AR8 and the African Trooper? Now as you can see, there's quite a substantial difference between this chunky boot and obviously the minimalist barefoot boot. But myself and Rose Anvil, we work together to really fine tune the upper pattern and create a nice snug feel around your foot. I'm not going to dive into too many details, as that's obviously going to come later on. But in short, the AR8, when converted to a barefoot spec, didn't fit all that great. So what we've done is we've fine-tuned it, and as you can see from the upper pattern, there's been quite a few changes that have been made to give you that slightly better feel and barefoot look. And I'm looking forward to Rose Anvil showing the world exactly what we've put together for this boot. So now onto my personal favorite from these custom made boots, and I must say it is quite a selection that we've got here, but my favorite is going to the Bushcat in the rough out. Now there's just something about these rough outs, it almost has like a pastel natural look to it, and something that I would go for. Personally, if I were to change this boot, I would obviously go for probably an STC last, and I would probably go for our polyester woven midsole. Now many of you are going to question me and say why not a leather midsole, and that's just because I prefer a lighter boot. But I love this look. I would have maybe added the Gym Green branding on the back and on the tongue just for that, obviously the Gym Green appearance. But all in all, I think this is a great boot, and maybe in the future we'll look at offering some more rough out versions on our website. Please chaps, in the comment section below, let us know what you think about this selection of rough out boots, the African Trooper that's coming soon, and please hit that like and subscribe button. We have a really great loyal bunch of followers, and just that added little like and extra click goes a long way for us, and we'll see you on our next episode.